Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to be talking about how to validate a form with HTML and CSS, no JavaScript added to it. Because normally every time, I know most of you guys, anytime you want to code, you use JavaScript to validate your form, but I'm going to show you a way in which you'll be able to do it without JavaScript. So let's get right into it. So although I've written the code already, the code for the form, so I'm just going to walk you through the process of the validation. Like now, this is my form already. So this is my form here. So in the input, I have a attribute called required here, and in the password, so I also have required turned on. So if I come here and I try to log in, you notice it will bring out please fill out this field notification. So that it's telling me that it's not yet filled because I've made it required. So it's not going to log in yet. So let me try to fill up the form now, so you see that's mail.com and password too. If I try to log in now, see it logs me in because I filled this form. So that's part of the validation. The first step is to make sure each input is required. The form part that you want it to be important or required part to be filled in the form, you make it required in the HTML. And the next step is to go to the CSS and add some styling. So first, for each input, we are going to use a pseudo element called invalid. So input, then you say invalid. So if it is invalid, we are going to say if each input is invalid, that means if it is not filled or something like that, like there is no the required strings or required information that is supposed to be placed there is not there, that means it's invalid. So we are going to give it a notification. So we are going to say border bottom 1 pixel solid. We are going to give it a red border bottom. So if you check it now, you can notice that it's red until you try to sit there and try to fill the information there. So as I see, I filled it now, it has changed the color, it's no more red again. Same for the password. If I try to include something, you can see that the red sign has gone now. So now, so if you notice also, so that's for if you want to make it, if you want to show if it's valid or not. So if you want to show the red sign, sorry, if you want to show the invalid state, you have added a border to it, the red border on the invalid pseudo element to make it show that it's not valid. So if you notice also, if I refresh, you notice that it is red, but without even inserting this thing, because that means if the user login, you notice that it is automatically show red, but we don't want it to show red immediately. We want it to show that when the person starts inserting a data into it, that's where it starts showing whether there is an error or not. So the next step to take is that we are going to add another pseudo element called not. So the not, as we say not, and we say placeholder show, and this placeholder show means if the placeholder is not showing anymore, that's when you can notice now that the red border is not there again. So if the placeholder is not showing anymore, like if we say the placeholder is not showing like this now, you can see that the red is back because I've added something to it. So if I type my email until it is correct, that's when it will disappear again. So same with the password is like that already. So now we fix that. Now we also want to make it a little bit more creative, so we are going to add like a background, a check mark to it. So we are going to do it like this. So background URL, and I have an image, a check mark image in my folder here. So image / check red, the red check mark. So if you notice, let me refresh. So if I try to type something, you can see that the red check mark has filled up the stuff. So let me quickly correct that by adding some other extra styling to the background. So I'll say background repeat at the background size first. Let me work on the background size. So I'll reduce it to 20 pixels. So if you reduce it to 20 pixels, now you can notice that it's covering everything here. So background repeat also. So no repeats, so that it will keep repeating the background. And let's see what we've done here. So now the next step is to move the this red background to the end here. So we just say background by doing background position. You use the calc function. That's calc. You say 100% minus 10 pixel. You notice now, yeah, it's moved here. So anytime you try to type it, it just come out like test so at mail.com. Now you've gotten the part where we are able to show a mail. So this password, if you notice, is not more showing an error because it's just accepting any type of password. So we are going to give it an instruction that the minimum length here in the HTML, the minimum length it should accept should just be 4. The minimum length of password should be 4. So we are going to use the attribute min length. So we just say min length and let's give it 6. So now refresh already. So email. So if you say test mail.com, you notice the password. So if you write 1, because it's not up to 6 characters, so we are going to add more characters. So you see that when it's now 6, the thing has disappeared. Now you notice that we have not gotten the sign anytime it has disappeared. Our details are correct. So we are going to add another pseudo element which is called valid in the CSS to show when our input is valid already. So next step is to add input and valid. So this one we don't need the not placeholder show because it has happened. The placeholder show has already happened when we are working on the invalid. So we just say border bottom 1 pixel solid, and we are going to use the green color here. So we are going to use the green color here, and same thing we are going to use actually the same style here, but we are just going to change the picture. So let's just copy this part and move it down here like so. So we are just going to change this one to the green check mark. So let's say / check green. So you will see that you can notice that now you can see that it has changed to green. Now the next step is to show, like, anytime someone is making an error on when they are trying to input the form, insert data into the form, they're going to show an error. So we come back to the HTML here and write some little code. So we are going to say small. We are going to use the small tag in the HTML. So first one, please so you say email is required. So let me say valid email is required. So for the password too, we are also going to give the instruction small. We are going to use the small attribute again and say password must be up to 6 characters. So let me check here. You can see that it's showing now. So let's give it a little bit of styling. So we are going to add a red styling to it. So small, and just say color red. So if you notice, it doesn't really look cool the way it is now that it's showing immediately, even if you have not inserted anything. So we are going to find a way to call it, like bring it out before, only when the data is not correct. So we are going to do that now. So we are going to do the same thing. So let's first hide it by saying display none. So yeah, that's done. So now we are going to say the invalid. So it's only when it is invalid it is going to show. So we are going to do something like input invalid so you will say invalid, then you also put the not sign, not, and you say the not placeholder shown. So you now say plus small, why the small tag there. So you will now open the brackets, then you say display block. So you notice that it's not there again, but when I try to insert something, you notice that it's already showing already. So you say test at mail. When it's correct, you see that it has disappeared now. .com. And see that it has disappeared. Same with the password. So if I put one, it just bring out the info here and say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And see now it's okay now. So that's that about that. And one more thing, we want to make it, because we want to make it this button. If you do this, you'll be able to log in. So I want to make it in a way whereby this, let me refresh once more. You can notice I want to make it in a way whereby the opacity of this button will be reduced. So only when the details here are correct, that's when this thing will be able to this button down here will be able to function. So what you do is that you say the input invalid, and you say when not an placeholder shown, then you add this sign. I don't know what it is called, but the sign in CSS, this sign. Then you say button, and you open the bracket, the square brackets, and you declare the type of button. Because type equals, let's say you have the type of button here, you have a submit button here, so it's type of button we are using here is submit. So we say submit, and then you open the bracket and see opacity 0.6. so that's to reduce the opacity though. So if you do this, you notice that the opacity of this button reduced, and though it's still clickable, though it will still ask you to add stuff, but so we'll try a way to disable this thing. So we'll use the value called pointer event. So you just say pointer event none. So none. So let me refresh once more. So you notice that if I add this now, this one won't work again. So let's try to test all what we have been doing since morning. So test at mail.com, add password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see now it's there, so you'll be able to log in, and here, and it says welcome. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.